The Nigerian Shippers Council is not just committed to deepening maritime activities in the country, but also focused on creating wealth and job opportunities in Nigeria. On this episode of The Shipper, we bring you details of a visit by the council to the Executive Governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintiri. My name is Abike Idowu. Stay with us as we take a short break.
Nigerian Shippers Council, they to serve you well. No matter the problem, we go solve them for you.
Yes, so the Nigerian Shippers Council, they feel in a parole now for every level. And as soon as goods, they move from Port A, go enter Port B with a measure within on a need. For the Nigerian Shippers Council, we don't sharp proper to fit hear you wella, work with you wella, and help you fit serve your customers them better, no matter where them day. As we country port economic regulator, the Nigerian Shippers Council get every now to fit make government consider the problem when shippers them they face. Visit we office for number 4 or to buy your daily show your daily. Papa, email us for nsc@shipperscouncil.gov.ng. We website now www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
For you, we dey gidigba.
Nigerian Shippers Council with a meeting now for the port of Nane.
Welcome back. It's another half hour to talk maritime, and the program you're watching is The Shipper, brought to you by Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. As part of measures to create an enabling environment for investments in Adamawa State, the state government and the Nigerian Shippers Council have endorsed a strategic alliance to expand critical infrastructure in the transport sector. Some truckers and community members in Adamawa State spoke with the shipper on the need for the establishment of these transport infrastructures.
To direbobi suna da damuwoyi iri-iri na kan hanya da kuma na nan. Babban damuwan da direbobi suke da shi dama can ana rashin filin trailer park ne. So zaka ga mota zai zo zai yi parking a bakin hanya ko kuma ya tafi wajen gari ya je ya parking. So wannan babban risk ne a ce mota ba zai bai da ainihin parking place nasa ba. So other problem da direbobi suke da shi kuma akan hanya ne. Police, soja da kuma wani illegal revenue suna yawan damun su. So wannan su ne problem da suke facing.
Muna da damuwoyi saboda bayan da za mu yi mu hana direba parking a bakin hanya saboda ba gera wurin nan ba. Kuma in an yi parking a bakin hanya na akwai accident zai iya faruwa, komai zai iya faruwa, mota yana parking a shoulder. Amma an gera wurin nan ya zama fili, direba ba zai parking a nan ba.
We are facing a lot of the problems, like a muddy area for the trucks. If they were coming, they were not able to move because there is no friction. You know, they were always rotating in just one place.
There are many. Number one, if Cameroon people bring cow inside this market, there is no water. Number two, erosion inside this market, erosion too much. Motor before enter inside Kara, put an cow inside motor. Before motor inside rain season, then they waste time up to 1 hour, 2 hour motor. Then they waste time. Why? Erosion too much. That is the second problem.
Talata da Laraba ana samun motocin da suke daukar shanu kaman 200 ranar kasuwa ba. Kuma ranar fashi ma akwai daya biyu ba za a rasa ba. Lagos, Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, Anambra, Umuahia, Imo, ba inda ba sa zuwa da a faɗin Najeriya.
To discuss expansion of economic activities in Adamawa State, the Nigerian Shippers Council, led by the Executive Secretary and CEO Emmanuel Jime, met with the Governor of Adamawa State. Here's more details of that meeting put together by Additional Abiodun and presented by Lucy Ulugbe.
Existing and prospective investors in Nigeria have often contended with inadequate infrastructure in critical sectors of the economy. This gap in infrastructure has been identified as the bane of the nation's economic growth and development. Government, through regulatory agencies like the Nigerian Shippers Council, has continued to demonstrate commitment towards developing infrastructure and create the much-needed conducive environment for businesses to thrive. The meeting between the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Right Honorable Emmanuel Jime, and the Governor of Adamawa State, Umaru Fintiri, was part of the present administration's conscious plan towards infrastructural development in the country.
They intend to fund, because we also need to have that sort of information so that we can escalate the conversation and take it to the next levels. Don't forget, as Shippers Council, we also have to relate with our supervising ministry, that's the Minister of Transportation. That's at the point at which we can provide information that will now allow for the minister and his team to take a look at what has been presented, so that all the approvals that are required can be given. So they, as concessionaires, have as a primary responsibility to assure, to make certain that there are veilors with the full business case of these facilities that we're discussing with the Adamawa State government at this point in time. So that actually is, at the present time, what is required of them. Every state that wishes the partnership of the Shippers Council, we have open door policy as far as that is concerned. All we need is to be invited. Even when we're not, we can also go out of our way to try to make suggestions.
Jime told the governor that the council will work with the state government on key projects which he explained will enhance the economic fortune of Adamawa State. He listed the projects to include the establishment of 2 vehicle transit areas in the Mubi and Ngorore, and also Border Information Center in Yola and Sauda in Adamawa State. The Nsc'S boss, who was accompanied on the visit by some top management staff, was optimistic that the vehicle transit areas, when operational, will provide a temporary rest location for truck drivers and travelers. He added that the council will work with the state government to ensure the success of the projects. An obviously elated governor of the state, who expressed delight on the meeting, described the initiative as timely and one that will be of immense benefit to the people of the state. According to the governor, the project, when completed, will address unemployment and reduce criminal activities in the state.
By extension, showing a presence in Nigeria, and for me to also tell you that these places and areas we have chosen for these mega projects are safe of any insecurity. The entire state, to some extent, is even safe. We have put a lot with the security agency to ensure that this state is really safe of any insecurity. I just felt we should have this meeting so that we can move fast, and for us to also know what the state needs to do and what the Nigerian Shippers Council also is ready to put in. For us, we are ready and we are fully prepared to partner with the Nigerian Shippers Council for us to get these projects in place, which we felt is very important and dear to the heart of this government.
He assured the Executive Secretary of Nsc'S of the state's commitment to ensuring the successful completion of the projects in the state. The governor disclosed that a partnership towards the construction and rehabilitation of roads within the border communities on a tax rebate agreement is ongoing between the state government and Dangote Group.
Overall supervising agency, we felt for guide and necessary support, we need to go into partnership with the Nigerian Shippers Council to actualize these BICs and transit parks for trucks. Which is very necessary in modern days businesses and the way the society is growing. It's going to affect us positively because that will improve on our economy, that will improve adequately on the way we also do business because most of the informal business will now be brought into the basket formally.
Director, Northeast Zone of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Abubakar Bashir, also spoke on the efforts made so far by the zone towards the realization of the vehicle transit area in the state.
We are doing a lot of things and in various ways. Number one is that we are doing a lot of publicity through meeting the shippers as well as through meeting them at the various shippers associations level meetings. And we are also consulting with the hauliers, the truckers, since we are located, our shippers here are located inland. Definitely most of their cargoes from the sea comes by rotation with the truckers, as well as the other stakeholders too in the cargo movement.
A 9-man implementation committee has been set up between the state and the Nigerian Shippers Council and have agreed to meet in February, when the committee will be officially inaugurated to tidy up discussions on the project.
Well, first and foremost, today we were able to put together an implementation committee. This is just the beginning of our discussion. We have another meeting that's scheduled for sometime in February, where obviously I'm going to be visiting His Excellency in Yola. And at that point, I believe that we'll put together some timelines as to how we intend to go about delivering on some of these issues that we're discussing. What I expect, of course, of the Adamawa state government is to further engage with us in a more robust manner so that we can avail them of information that is needed for them to be able to partner with us. And then, of course, we also can provide information to them as to some of the facilities that exist, which maybe the state government, for instance, may not be aware of, but for which the Shippers Council is best positioned in order to afford them.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
We will continue to monitor the activities of the 9-man committee and keep you posted. It's now time to join Oluwasegun Aluko on an expedition around the world of maritime activities on Tidbits.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has signed a memorandum of understanding with the Nigerian Shippers Council to ensure fair competition among operators in the maritime industry. In a meeting held at Abuja, the Chief Executive Officer FCPC, Mr. Babatunde Irukera, commended NSC's approach to work with the Commission, describing it as collaborative and supportive.
The cost of supply chain is such an important component of how anything gets on the table, whether it's food or otherwise. And so the shipping industry is a very, very important industry. And the peculiar nature of our country, including law enforcement and regulation, makes the work of the Shippers Council not just more important, but perhaps even more tedious. The law enforcement infrastructure clearly shown that a regulator like a Shippers Council has to be a partner also in some overarching law enforcement activities. We at the FCCPC have some convergence in objective, desire, even mandate with the Shippers Council, which is protection of the consumers who ultimately buy or consume most of what is shipped. Maybe not necessarily from the content, but certainly from a value proposition.
Speaking, the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of the Council, Emmanuel Jime, described the maritime industry as a very sensitive sector of the Nigerian economy.
Today is a turning point by all indices, and I believe that it will now usher in an even better understanding of how these two agencies will be working together. We appreciate that cost effectiveness is a key element on how services are delivered, and that when competition is properly monitored, and when, of course, we ensure there is protection for the consumer. And I think it's actually the industry that benefits, because ultimately it means that we're going to have compliance, we're going to have standards, we're going to have efficiency and effectiveness in service delivery. That today actually is the reason why we're here.
Jime said the Council was involved in cost modulation, which will ultimately guarantee benefit to consumers.
We are sector regulators, which then means that we have a common interest. But that common interest then means also that we have to engender a common understanding as well. It is important to keep re-emphasizing the fact that, first, when two agencies of government that are concerned with delivery of services in our public sector show the signal and the intent of working in partnership, that is an example that really needs to be institutionalized so that all of the nation understands that when two agencies of government work together, the country benefits from the effort.
We now move to our complaints register for the week. A total number of 20 complaints were received. 6 have been resolved and 14 are ongoing investigations. Some of these complaints include extortion, application for waiver, fraudulent actions, arbitrary increase, debt recovery, and vandalization of cargo. The Nigerian Shippers Council continues to receive commendation from stakeholders for the role it plays in the maritime industry. Here is one of such commendations. This is a reminder to all regulated service providers, such as terminal operators, barge operators, shipping companies, freight forwarders, and clearing agents, amongst others, to register with the Council. Failure to do so will attract penalties. Registration can be done via the website www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. It's time for news on shipping around the world. DP World has launched its new digital compliance and revenue platform, Cargo's Customs. The platform facilitates a completely paperless trade, easing the flow of customs process using innovative technology solutions, including an artificial intelligence-driven risk engine and smart valuation. The platform is built to assist global customs organizations in reforming and modernizing processes by streamlining digital transformation through the latest technology and tools. In Australia, the world's first liquefied hydrogen carrier, the Suso Frontier, has arrived in Victoria, marking the success of the Hydrogen Energy Supply Chain (HESC) pilot project and the dawn of Australia's hydrogen industry. AGS's vision is to produce carbon-neutral hydrogen through extraction from a mix of lateral valley coal and biomass, capturing and storing carbon dioxide via the CarbonNet project. In China, Jiangyan Shipbuilding, a subsidiary of China State Shipbuilding Corporation (CSSC), has received an order for the construction of two world's largest dual-fuel car and truck carriers. The two 7,600 space liquefied natural gas dual-fuel ocean-going vehicle carriers will be built for SAIC Anji Logistics, a subsidiary of China's automobile manufacturer SAIC Motor. Complying with international environmental regulations, the ship type represents a new generation of post-Panama car carriers. In Senegal, Customs Agency has seized 3 containers of ammunition in capital Dakar from Ghana flag cargo vessel. The ammunition is thought to be a haul worth $5.2 million. Ibrahim Kamara, who heads the agency's maritime division, said in a video that it was unable to trace from where the weapons had come. However, Vessel Finder, an online tool, shows that the vessel had made stops in northern Italy and the Canary Islands on its way to Dakar. In South Korea, antitrust authorities have imposed fines totaling $81 million on 23 domestic and foreign container shipping companies for unlawfully fixing freight rates on multiple routes between South Korea and Southeast Asia over 15 years. The Korea Fair Trade Commission (FTC) reported that it has begun a wide-reaching 4-year investigation with its actions focused specifically on Southeast Asian shipping routes. The investigation stems from a 2019 complaint by the Korean timber industry to the FTC over rate hikes and the business practices of the shipping lines. Eastern Pacific Shipping has set out a no-coal cargo policy in its 2022 Environmental, Social and Governance Policy document to be followed by its commercially managed vessels. This move, the shipping company explained, is in support of the climate pact agreed at the 26th United Nations Annual Global Climate Summit held at Glasgow in 2021. The agreement specifically targeted phasing out of the use of coal to significantly lower carbon dioxide emissions. This is all we'll take on Tidbits for this week.
The Nigerian Shippers Council is now better poised with responsive systems in place to help you and other shippers get seamless, stress-free transition for your clients' goods from point A to B. Today at the Nigerian Shippers Council, timeliness, orderliness, transparency and efficiency is all we care about. Put your complaint through to our helpline. Visit us at number 4 Ayodele Shoyode Lane, Apapa, Lagos, or reach us on www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the point of your need.
Nigerian Shippers Council, we meet you at the port of your needs.
And that's it on our program today. Do remember to register with Nigerian Shippers Council as a regulated service provider on www.shipperstradedata.gov.ng. It's been a pleasure bringing you the program, but a bigger pleasure as always is having you join us. Let's do this again next week when we bring you another exciting episode of The Shipper. Until then, have a swimmingly great week. Goodbye.